All right, guys, welcome to today's stream. We have a few things to do according to the iGEM judging book, which we've been going through that a lot the past few days. Let's open it up and take a look. Here, let me just show you that really quickly. If you take a look here, we have this: how well is the software written and documented for future groups to extend and improve. I spent some time writing highlighting. I spent some time writing comments and some documentation on the API as well as the main tool. However, we don't have any architecture diagrams or performance evaluations yet. Installation and execution scripts, I think those are covered. We have pip install. We have, oh, sorry, I hear myself. Pip install, we have the Docker installation script. You could just download the Docker image, run that. The setup.py script is solid and runs. Yeah, so we're definitely covered on that front. We just need the architecture diagrams, the performance evaluation, and the good documentation. But that's also something we'll cover in the next few days intensively when we do our entire dry lab software video series where we go through everything. We'll also explain these tools to you, how you can use them. That'll be in addition to the actual physical documentation. Okay, but right now, as you were able to see before, we are going to try and create a good architecture diagram for this. So I've never actually created an architecture diagram of anything. So this would be very guesstimate based on what that would have to look like. So let's just Google really quickly. What does an architecture diagram look like? Also, the thing is, I'm thinking, yeah, we could have the architecture diagram, but also I think it would be useful to have a user interaction diagram, right? Because you have all of these different options. You can have the Docker container with just the GUI application. You can have the Docker container with just the API. You can have the combination of those two. You can use the Python package. You can use all three. You can just download the GitHub repo, run whatever you want. So yeah, there's a lot of options for the user to interact with this. And I don't know how that relates to the actual architecture diagram. So I think those two might want to be separate. So yeah, let's just see. What does an architecture diagram of a software product look like? Okay. Let me just share my browser with you so that we can research this together. By the way, if you have any ideas or comments, please feel free to let your remarks be known in the chat. Ultimate guide to software and architecture diagram. Think, oh, that looks awesome. This is Miro. Yeah, okay, I mean, we could use Miro. I've chosen not to for right now, but yeah, if this turns out to be just really good, then of course we can also do that. Right. So okay, so it has a layered approach to what actually happens. I see. Okay. Software architectural diagramming is an important part of developing software. In this guide, we'll cover everything you need to know, including what it is exactly, different types of software architecture diagrams, and a step-by-step guide on how to draw one. Okay, what is architectural diagramming? Things first. Let's get a definition going. Software architectural diagramming is about creating visual maps of your software systems. Oh my god, I cannot talk right now. Of your software system's parts. These diagrams show what each part does, how it's built, and how everything fits together. Think of software architecture diagrams as blueprints for your software. They make it easier to make decisions and understand even the most complex software setups. By laying out everything visually, you can spot potential issues early, streamline communication among your team, and keep everyone on the same page. Okay. 7 types, oh my god. Understanding the different types of software architecture diagrams can significantly enhance your ability to design, communicate, and build effective systems. Each type of diagram serves a unique purpose, offering insights into various aspects of your software. Whether you're tackling high-level system design or diving into the specifics of a single application, these diagrams are essential tools in your software toolkit. First, high-level software architecture diagramming. So I don't want to watch this video, When you need to capture the overall design of your software and see how the major pieces fit together, high-level software architecture diagrams are the way to go. They show you your software components, their relationships, and how they interact. Great for getting a big picture view of your software, these diagrams help you spot potential bottlenecks and keep your team on the same page. Want this in action in Miro and the short walkthrough. So I don't know how I feel about like watching a YouTube video on stream. So yeah, guys, definitely watch this on your own. It's probably very interesting, but I'm not going to watch it right now. Okay, so I think this is the high-level software architecture diagram already looks kind of like what we want. System architecture diagram maps out the entire system, showing both hardware and software. Yeah, we don't even have any hardware components. So actually, this might be interesting too, right? Because we have different components that interconnect. Like we have the database, the API, and the Streamlit application also rely on the same underlying util functions. So yeah, that might be interesting. Application architecture diagrams dive into specifics of a single application. Actually, let's just make this a bit wider right here because we have space. Just zoom in. Nice, that's good and readable. How the application's architecture show. Let's show the application's architecture showing its components interact and how data moves within the app. Okay, so can we? No, we cannot. Google Cloud Architecture Diagram Template. Let's look at this. So what is this? Cloud DNS, cloud load balancing. Okay. I see. Integration architecture diagram. Okay, I think this is a lot of, like, yeah. Website architecture diagrams help you design clear. Okay, so I think we're gonna. I don't hate the idea of creating two separate diagrams. So like the user interaction diagram and then the actual like how does it all work diagram. Because that separates the kind of mixed together aspects of you have all of these different options and like of how you can run it versus what is actually happening underneath, because that's kind of similar for all three, right? Just the endpoint is different, if you will. Look, like one endpoint might be a Streamlit web application, the API, or the Python package, but they all rely on the underlying data. So in that sense, they all do the same thing. However, the way that the user interacts with this is completely like dependent on the user, and there are many different options. And I think if we separate those out, instead of saying, okay, user can do all of these things, which essentially come down to this, we can just say, okay, these are the three components which the user can combine any way they want. But these three components all rely on the same thing. So I think that's where we're going to go with. And that's also kind of what I sketched out over here just before the stream. Actually, yesterday evening, I think. So yeah, if we take a look at this, let's just zoom in a bit here. So I said like, okay, yeah, we have this Mesa Designer kind of like toolkit, if you will. And this relies, or this extends into three separate options of how you can design your Mesa parts. You have the Streamlit web application, right? So I think we're just going to call this web application, because Streamlit doesn't mean anything to people who don't know what Streamlit is, and web application is just easier. We have an API, and we have a, we're going to call this Python package, which also then, yeah, in the bracket I just wrote what this is like based on. So this would be Python and PyPy. Okay. They, like, the thing is, I don't think we need this much detail. They all rely on the same data source in the back. So let's just take a look one more time at the example software diagram that iGEM provides, because I think that might be a good reference also. If we just open that in the browser really quickly, take a look at that. Go to page 83. You can see here that Vilnius, Lithuania from last year, they provide this really simple architecture diagram, to be honest. They have the web app, just like we do. They have, the Arduino client. This all combines in a Python Flask server. And they have some database in the rear. If we take a look at our diagram here, this is kind of similar. So yeah, just keep this in mind. I'm going to be kind of looking at this because obviously iGEM provides this as like a gold standard example. So that's what we'll also work with. So yeah, all of these feed into the backend, and so yeah, maybe I'm thinking, let's create a second layer in between here because this layer exists, right? We have a layer which is, yeah, let's process. I think it's a good block for this. I think some of these blocks have some meaning, but I don't feel like that's too relevant. Because we just need this to look easy to understand. So yeah, I think this makes sense because this is like a label thing. These are like different packages, I guess, and then this would be the util, or well, let's call this data access layer. Data access and processing layer. Because this does do quite a bunch of stuff, right? This searches through, for example, the subdub database. This, which I think that should be spelled this way. This builds your GenBank files. This provides data from different sources which we've compiled. So yeah, all of that feeds into this. So I think this definitely makes sense. Although now I'm thinking, let's reverse all of these errors because this kind of all goes like it. I mean, if we look at the Vilnius architecture diagram, they provide it in this direction. This is like a user interaction kind of pathway, right? But I don't know. In what direction would you? Yeah, no, right here, because like. The data is like it flows up, right? It comes from here, it's processed, further presented, and then actually shown to the user. So yeah, I think that's what we're gonna also go with the arrows pointing from the data sources towards user interaction. So all of these databases, let's just call this data layer or database layer, yeah. This feeds into the data processing and access layer, which in turn is accessed by all of these different ways, and these make up the Mesa Designer toolkit. I think looks good. I really am not a designer, guys. I apologize, but I'm trying. Okay. Yeah, I think that's looking fine. Except I think I want these to all come out from the top. And then we might just pull this a bit in, so like here. And then yeah, this doesn't have to go all the way over there. This can also come out from the middle. Yep, perfect. Pull this in, move that in, and we can move this inwards. I think this is okay. So this would be the, let's save that. This would be the architecture diagram of the application. And then let's just make sure we have somewhat equal spacing everywhere. So if we pull these maybe down to this entire block, and then we pull this thing down, then we can have, yep, that's okay, and then we move this up one block. I think that's looking good. Nice. Although actually between the layers there's always like a two-step thing there. All right. I mean, yeah, this this is kind of presentable. Now I'm just thinking maybe so yeah, I think this would be okay. However, I don't think it would be too bad if we, instead of doing this, separated all three into and like move them into one large container, just like it is with the database layer, because I think that makes quite a bit of sense. Just make these, give them all a bit more room to live right there. Move this stuff in. We can move these arrows in as well. Oh, I just got some messages. So apparently, one of the other team members has made some changes to the software design, which is looking really nice, actually. Yeah, okay, nice. Let me just quickly show you that. So this is the screenshot I was just sent. Let's take a look at that. What is this? Yeah, if we take a look at this. So you can see there's now some kind of side menu here, which provides like a nice overview of the actual components, and I'm assuming that's clickable and that'll nicely guide you through the entire process. So that's a pretty cool thing right there. I like it. I also like the colors. Yeah, take a look at that later. Right, continuing on with this. We have this container around the actual access points. I think this makes sense, because then you can, oh wait, no, oh come on, which part, do you have to move them individually? Okay, sure, never mind, you don't. And then you would have this, like, you know, this is all the ways that you can interact with the, why, stop it. Oh, come on. Does it do this because it scales everything else? Inside the container? Okay, so we would want the container to be, yeah, roughly if this size is good. And then, yep, okay, now we can move this stuff, good. Yeah, I think that's good. And then we would call this interface, or user interface. Although that's kind of reserved for UI, which it isn't interaction endpoints, maybe. Move this down. Well, actually, let's just move this up to the entire. I see. Well, that's unfortunate. Then we're gonna have to do it ourselves. Move that one down. I'm just looking at this, and I want this all to be spaced kind of evenly. So there we've got, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, and then, yep, okay. That looks fine. What is this? What happened here? Did I just, oh, is this like a spin thing here? No, wait, what? What just happened? What was this weird line? Okay, that's strange. whatever. Okay, and then this would be the, what is this? Ah, and you can like collapse this, I see. Okay, sure. Now let's see. So the Lithuania architecture diagram uses some nice colors. I don't know if that's like really necessary right now. We can always add those in later. Let's just let's create a new diagram. Let me share that window with you. And then this will be the user interaction diagram, right? Because you have, like we discussed, you have an architecture diagram, and we're going to have user interaction diagram as a separate thing, just to make it really clear that there are a lot of ways to interact with the software, but they all pull from the same data source, right? Which actually is missing right here. We also have to add the RCSB protein database. I'm just going to quickly add that in. To the architecture diagram. Good. Then next up, we will over here talk about the user interaction diagram. Okay, so the different like individual components, we already have these over here, so I think we can probably just copy paste them. Yep, very nice. And these will all, let's zoom in a bit. These are all individual like interaction methods, if you will, right? But then you can combine all of these in different ways, and we have provided those combinations ready for you, but you can obviously like create all of them yourself. So I think we're gonna see if we can find a GitHub thing here. Perfect. So let's do this one. Yeah. They all exist in GitHub repo. In a GitHub repo, which anybody can access. And so, yeah, everybody can like, okay, scaling this thing is not great. And so everybody can like contribute or, you know, create their own stuff. That's all very much possible. They all exist within GitHub. Hold on this arrow. GitHub, perfect. Nice. Okay. Now, although no, this is not the way I want to structure this. I want to structure this the other way around. In this case, this will be, yeah, what does the user interact with? So we have, is there just like a label thing? Yeah, perfect. Text. User interaction endpoints. Or, yeah, the name is not fixed yet. This is essentially GitHub repo where you can find everything. You can combine it in any way, shape, or form you like. We have Docker. It's just this one Docker thing? Okay. Scale that up to the same size as the GitHub icon, or roughly, yeah. Okay, nice. Docker. And we have the PyPy package. So let's see if they have like a Python thing, more results. Let's see, anything. package maybe? Not looking too great. Let's quickly Google if there's anything. Draw.io Python package icon. I'm guessing you can't just use the Python logo. That would be probably problematic, I guess. Though actually, let's see if you can. Oh, you can. Yeah, if you don't make money from it, which we definitely don't with the iGEM. We don't make money. Okay, then let's go find it, I guess. Python logo. Perfect. Grab that. Does that have a transparent background? Yes, it does. Awesome. Can we just add that? Perfect. Nice. Okay. All of these methods are like, yeah, through Python, essentially, because nice. So I just want them all to be roughly the same height. Move them to the center of these. Okay, nice. Okay, so now we can add some arrows to indicate how they all relate to each other. And the Docker container is available as this or this. You have pre-built, or like an and thing, right? You have pre-built versions where you include both the API and the application, or just the application, or just the API. All of those exist. The Python thing goes into all of them. So yeah, see, this is where I'm not sure how I can structure this in such a way that it's not completely yeah, this is not looking great. Or maybe instead of doing it this way, we can duplicate this, scale it down, and just add it to all of these things. Nice. Yeah, I think that works. Scale that down and add it to this thing. Scale it down, add it to this endpoint. Yeah, okay. They're all powered by Python. I think that's pretty clear. They are all also available on GitHub. So let's also scale that down, put it in the other corner. Perfect. And now this is gonna be, although I don't like this either. Hmm. But now we can definitely remove the Python from the further information thing. I guess we could just like, yeah, maybe this would work. Instead of creating two separate diagrams, what if we just added these little logos to the original architecture diagram, and then oh no, oh no, did not mean to do that. And then instead of like having a separate diagram, this just indicates where you can find these things. And then two of them would have the Docker logo, and one of them would have the PyPy logo, whatever that is. No. Let's see if we can find a logo for that one as well. Is that still recognizable? Yeah, it's kind of small. And that's too large. Okay, that's going to be a problem, but we can see maybe we just scale everything up. Or we move the text further up. Maybe that works too. Can just like... No, that's just... okay. I see. Well, let's just finish this for now, because I think this makes sense for most things already. Okay, they're all Python, they're all that. But then let's see if there's a PyPy logo. PyPy logo. Oh, Python package index. I guess that would do. Icon to indicate Python package. I mean, yeah. Ooh, that's not bad. So I'm looking at a cardboard box with Python inside of it. Actually, we can just create that. No, they probably have a box. Yeah. I mean, that kind of doesn't look too bad. If we specifically look for cardboard, open box. Okay, no, yeah, that's not gonna. Package. Okay, here we go. Anything else like that? So I mean, we can use this one. Can we change the color? Yep, we can. We would just want that to be nothing, or I guess transparent. Is this possible? Or white? Yeah, I think that's fine. Yep, that's good. Duplicate that logo and just plop it. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna have to do some image editing here. Actually, I mean, we can just create this ourselves. That's not too difficult, right? Is there a transpose kind of thing here? No, okay, yeah, so we're probably gonna have to create our own logo for this one. Let's open GIMP and really quickly do that. let's just say 100 by 1, actually 1000 by 1000 pixels with transparent background. What? Okay. Let's see. This can't be too difficult, right? Can we grab this and put that in there? We cannot. Okay. All right, so we would want like a shape thing. Let's open the help menu. That's what it's there for, right? Path tool. Path tools. So I guess we would want from the bottom, from the center. Can you edit the path's coordinates yourself? So like it's supposed to look kind of like this, right? This would be one of the sides. That didn't work. Nice. Goes to the center, goes to like over here-ish, I guess, goes down, and back to the beginning. Can we somehow now create this path, or? Oh, okay, nice, okay. So, oh, dang it. Oh. Click control by clicking the first point of the path. Okay, so goes to here, goes to here, goes to here, and then back down again. To close the path, perfect. Then we can stroke the path. Sure. In black, I guess, yep, why not? Sure, we can do that, okay. And can we now edit the path, or is that just not like a thing you can do? Okay, no, does not look like you can do that afterwards. So maybe we need more of an SVG editing tool instead of like raster based. Let's see if you can create this in. Although maybe we can just get, like, we have specific like design people on our team who can really do this stuff really nicely, so maybe they can just do this too. That would be amazing. They have a lot to do. That's definitely the case, but this would be incredibly helpful. So for now, let's just go with this. Scale this down. Put it, oh, okay, I guess scale it down more. Which you can't do that, of course you can't. Then it just goes in the middle. Yep, that's a Python package, all right. So yeah, that's I like this idea for the architecture diagram though. Now let's go take a look at some other things, because this will do for now. Done with this. This can go to the trash. This can go, and we've saved this. That's good. Okay, then let's take a look at the code again. Still have it open right here. Okay, so now there's an update. We're gonna, yeah, okay. We have some merge conflicts. Let's try and resolve those. All right, let me just, you can't see the window that I'm actually looking at. Okay, I mean this will go really quickly. So I'm assuming he needs pandas. We're gonna import this stuff, then we're gonna take all the comments from my version. Yeah, I commented like everything just to make it really easy to work with this. Because I mean, I think we've all experienced it. If you have a fairly decent sized project, I mean this is like I guess two to 3,000 lines of code, and you don't know anything about the underlying framework. Yeah, I mean you should maybe take a look at the documentation for that first. But still, if the software itself is not well written and undocumented, it can really become quite a mess. We've definitely tried to do our best in both of those cases, but just like I said before, with Streamlit State, there's not there's only so much you can do to make it super easy. Okay. So we're gonna have to put this in here. This goes down there. More comments. More comments. Okay. Merging a lot of stuff, having fun clicking merge items. Yeah, I guess maybe I should have committed my changes before updating the project, then we'll just have to merge it in, not merge everything to main. Well, that's fine. Okay. We're about a third done now. So let's see. Sorry guys, yeah. This I'm almost done with the merging. This is just gonna take a little more time. Simply due to the large amount of comments that I've made. And yeah, I just have to merge this in, or I'll be right back. Add this, add this, add this, add this, add this. Actually doing this process, because like you have to go through everything, right? And you have to go back, and some stuff you forget because you coded it quite a while ago. I found a few issues that we hadn't even noticed, which was good. There were some state issues with deleting actually previously selected stuff. If you do that, then it wouldn't properly clear it, and then you'd get 3 chains instead of the 2 that you actually selected. So yeah, that was good. 2/3 done about now. Only 500 lines to go. $300 lines. I'm so sorry. Almost done. Just a few more comments. Okay. Here we're accepting this. We're taking this comment. So he's now nicely added anchors to a lot of parts, which, as you guys saw in the previous image that I showed you, he sent me a screenshot, which allows you to like navigate to different parts of the page really easily. But yeah, so that creates lines where there are 2 edits, and those require 1 extra paste, and so sadly I can't just combine them automatically. But I'm just gonna, after this is done, I'm just gonna quickly commit this, and then we don't have to worry about these huge merge differences again. Or merge conflicts, I guess they're called. All right, and that does it. Apply that. Oh. There are still unresolved issues. Let's check. Oh yeah, I guess, okay, no, we don't want this. We do want this. What else? There's one. Yep, just don't do this one. There's one here. Take these in. Did that do it? Oh, 1 change left. Okay, let's find that change. Oh yeah, there's just a comma here which doesn't need to be there. Okay, nice, that does it. Alright, so sorry guys. Let's just quickly commit these changes. Let's just call this comments. Commit that and push. Push that. Alright, let's check out the actual application though. Streamlit run app main. And then if we take a look at Firefox. Here. Oh. Yeah, okay, I guess I have to import it. Streamlit scroll navigation. Okay, there we go. Let's run it again. And you can see it, perfect. However, you can't see the sidebar. See, yeah, okay, no, I guess that's just not visible. So the change doesn't work, or also why is this visible twice now? Okay, fun stuff. Let me check that out. So I guess we delete this one, and then that should do it. Okay, let's rerun that. Save this file. Yep. Okay. So now we only have one. Yeah, it's not actually visible. I'm gonna have to quickly contact him about this. Let's see why. Oh, he rewrote the package. Well, that explains it. Okay. Oh, hey there. Thank you very much for the subscribe. Okay, so yeah, that's not great. But I guess it's not broken. So it didn't actually break anything, as far as I can tell. Let's just run through it really quickly. Because if this all still works, then that's fine. He said that he changed the package, which obviously that'll require some adjustments to everything. But that's so. Oh, okay. So now it appears. Okay. So. Okay. Nice. I guess. Ooh, I like the jumping animations. That's pretty cool. We're gonna have to see how he got those images in and how many changes that requires, because depending on how difficult it is to get it working, we can either push like a commit to the original package, create our own package locally, etc. There are a few solutions. Okay, but this is looking good. Yeah, we did split design. We have split design. That's looking fine. Let's see if the download function still works. Open that up. Let me quickly open Genius. All of you who don't know, Genius is a oh, didn't run it. That's interesting. I just got Genius to crash. Okay. If we take a look at these two files, we want to keep them separate. This is looking good. I believe that's fine. Yep, that's CD4. We have a binder sequence. Let me just show you Genius. So this is like the GenBank download that is possible with our software. And right now I'm just checking to see if everything was assembled correctly. This is the short linker, perfect. Nice. And this should be a stock code. Yep, good. That's looking good. Yep, that's looking good. Nice. All components are there. And I think the same thing is probably going to be the case for this part. We have the signal sequence binder linker, and this is definitely the assembled binder instead of the de novo binder that we have in the A chain. We have the TMD. We have I'm assuming this is a short linker. Yep, that's a short linker. C term, and then another one. Yep, and another one. Oh, wait, what's going on here? Oh, yeah, no, okay, we're good. Okay, perfect, nice, yep, okay, so this works. Then all we are gonna have to do is take a look at how he actually changed, I guess, scrollable sidebar, was it called? And then we can implement that too and make it available to everybody. But for now, I think what we're going to do is take a quick look at repackaging everything, because the Docker container, of course, should have the latest updates available. And also, as we discussed earlier in the architecture diagram, we want to have a Docker container with the API access, we want to have a Docker container with just the Streamlit web application, and we want to have one with both. So let's go ahead and build all of those different things. First, we're going to start Docker. Desktop. Docker desktop on Windows relies on WSL, as far as I'm aware, so it just takes a while. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't take a while. Very nice application. And now we can check if Docker is up. Yes, that's available. Nice and running. Okay, good. Let's take a look at this. Let's just clear this and zoom in a bit. We can't. I mean, yeah, let's create these Docker containers. Okay, so the first one is going to be one which has both parts. We have this, where is it? Docker entry point.h. Yes, this just runs Streamlit and UV Icorn. This is the API. If we just take a look at that, UV Icorn, API.main app. We can open that up in a browser. And if we go to the docs, you can see the whole functionality of the API. This is essentially everything that the Streamlit web app does, except a bit more. You can get a bit more data from this. Yeah, standard API, nothing all too special there. So the Docker file local, this is the one that includes everything, copies everything, and it installs everything that's required, and then sets it up and exposes. This is the key part, both ports. So first we're going to build this one. So docker build -t mesa designer -- file docker file local in this directory. Perfect. So that's just going to take a bit. Oh, nice. Oh, I see I'm in the way. Well, let me move to the right side then. Oh no, my background isn't real? What? That's wild. Yeah, okay. There we go, guys. Now I'm on the other side of the screen. Amazing how we did that. Yeah, okay, so the pip install requirements is just running. And this is actually, if you look at this, this is somewhat unusual in that it doesn't specify versions. The reason for that is that I wanted like latest security fixes, especially because we're using requests and some other packages which could be problematic. So I just want to be on the latest version there. Yeah, I don't know if it would be necessary, or if we could just specify, especially because the way you would probably run them would be, oh no, I think it does make sense. And as long as it doesn't break, I think this is fine, and it's running right now, so we're good. Okay, if we take a look at our images now, we have this, and we can do Docker image tag. We want to tag the Mesa designer image. We want to tag that in the /. Mesa designer. I have to quickly check Docker Hub what we're up to with version numbers. Actually, that's probably something we might want to. It's fine. We are on v1.4 slim. So let's call this v1.5 slim. Slim simply because we're using, I mean, the name is inspired by the Python 3.12 slim image we're using as a base image. And also because this is like 2 gigs size instead of the 55 or 70 gig image that we had previously when we were downloading all those structures instead of going to RCSB. RCSB whenever we need them, because makes it much more reasonable for most people to run. Yeah, we tag that and then we can Docker push it. Cannot type today. V1.5 slim. Okay. And then next up, we're going to create one which only has the application. So let's create a Docker file for that. You can just duplicate this one. Oh, yeah, I guess that's a compare. C and Control V. Let's rename these to application or web app. Okay, add that. We can rename the local to all. Then we also want a new one which is only for the API. Okay, let's take a look at the web app first. This doesn't need to expose this port, and we don't need to run this script. We can just take this part, and run it in the execute or entry point. Sorry. Yes, web app. Okay, let's separate all of these parts into different strings. Okay, there we go. Ah, man, I just realized I didn't actually even test this 1.5 slim version. Let's quickly do that. Just gonna run this in a different terminal. Docker run -p 8501 501, and we want to forward 8000 to 8000. Mesa designer. Actually, let's run exactly that one. Good. Starts both. That's already good. If we take a look. Oh no. Yep. Okay. I forgot to add scroll navigation to the requirements. That's not great. So yeah, we have I have uploaded a non-functional Docker container to Docker Hub. That's suboptimal. Well, let's just delete those. And then delete the build as well. Just to be sure, I want to do a Docker system prune all. Get rid of all that data. And then in the Docker Hub, we're gonna have to delete this one. Do that in the browser though. Docker Hub. Okay. Yeah. Let's get rid of this one. I've never actually deleted a container. Okay, well that's pretty easy. Now please be gone. Okay, good. Let's rebuild that one. Docker build -t Mesa designer dash file docker file all in this directory. Yes. Okay, so we go do that again. Sorry about that. This always takes a while, but we can already get started on the API one, since this one only requires this command. We can get rid of this part and replace that with this thing. Okay, that should hopefully work, and we don't need to expose those ports. We can just expose this one, and actually this will do a health check on 8,000. Okay, let's see. The rest should be fine. I mean, we could, yeah, theoretically there would be a point to reducing the amount of data that's copied. Absolutely correct. If we removed everything that's not needed for the web app or the API from both of those, that would significantly reduce stuff. Also, now we have this diagram.dry. Oh my god, yeah, okay. This, yeah. I'm gonna have to clean this up, but just for the process, we're gonna go through this now. If we go look at Docker images, we have Mesa Designer. We can just quickly check that this is now correct. We can, we still have the run command here, right? Oh, no, this was a different terminal, I see. This should have both. So forward these. All right, let's take a look at those. Nice. Mesa Designer is running. And the API is hopefully also running. It's looking good. Perfect. Okay, nice. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this works. That's great. We can stop this one. Delete this container. And then we can tag this one. Yep. I'm just tagging this one all because we're going to have 3 different versions, so I think it makes sense to have different tags for those, yeah. And then we push NEST, Mesa Designer, E1.5, all slim. Okay. Good. In the meantime, we can already get started on building the next one. Docker build -d Mesa Designer API file docker file underscore API from this directory. And we can, yeah, I mean, okay. Before the Jamboree, we're going to clean all of this up a bit because we don't need all of these Jupyter notebooks in here. We don't need any of that stuff. So it's definitely going to be useful to try to delete as much unnecessary content as possible. All right, guys. Anybody have any questions about what we're doing, what iGEM is, what I'm doing? Do you have any comments, feedback? Much appreciated. Sorry, not PS, LS. Nice, let's run that. So this should only have the port 8000. Designer API. Huh. It's interesting. Why doesn't it work? Oh, does the host have to go in front of the other command? Is that the issue? Let's exec into this one. Okay, that costs money. Let's not do that. We can do the easy route and just rebuild it. Okay, we have to delete the container first. Yeah, that makes sense. Now we can do this. Okay. So let's rebuild it. This one. Here we go again. I'm sorry, yeah, this is just a waiting process. Okay, nice. Okay. Let's run that again. Hopefully it doesn't work. Interesting. I don't fully understand why, so if you people know, please do let me know. Oh, yeah, also, I guess this wouldn't be necessary for this one. Or for the web app one. I'll delete this line. Okay, so I guess you just have to separate it into two parts. Okay, sure. Nice. Now it works. Okay, wonderful. So we can push this one. Oh. Okay, here we go. Docker image tag mesa designer API to this one. Perfect. You could also add an option, I guess, for like the Docker container, which has both tools to have like an entry command to only select one. But I think if I do this properly and slim them down to only really what they need, then that's more effective, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, I guess we can get started on this one. Okay, yep. Docker build mesa designer. Oh, sorry, forgot the tag there. Docker file / web app from also this directory. Nice. This is still pushing. Okay. Bit of waiting involved with this process. Okay. Take that, and we can push this one. This one's done. Good. All right, that's pushing. Okay, guys. Yeah, that concludes our afternoon stream for today. I think we did some interesting stuff, some necessary stuff, definitely. A lot of comments in the code. So yeah, if you have any questions, then I'll stick around for another 5 minutes. But then I think I would go ahead and end the stream for today, and I will see you all tomorrow, where we can finally get into like actual tutorials and doing what we've been doing over the past few months. So that'll definitely be nice. I'll talk to the team and see if we can get that very interesting addition with the sidebar going. See what's necessary to change the packages there, and then we'll include that in GitHub and in Docker images as well. I think that's a very good addition. Interesting to see that. Yeah, let's just quickly let this push, and then I'll also head off. Yeah, this is done. Curious right now. Oh yeah, okay. Different Docker builds. Push it. All right. Perfect. Okay, that's pushed. Then, guys, have a nice evening and see you all tomorrow.